Do you find yourself stressing out over your childcare business's marketing? Are you tired of empty places, low enrollment, low cash flow, and all the stress that comes along with all of that? Hey friend, welcome to the Childcare Business Marketing Made Easy podcast. You know God called you into childcare, but let's face it, you're no marketing expert. That's where I come in. My name is Rizakos, an educator by trade, certified business coach, and marketing expert. I started my own childcare center back in 2003 with zero business knowledge. I knew working with kids was my calling in life, but trying to figure out marketing, well, that was a whole other story. And the truth is, I struggled. I struggled for a long time to fully book my program until I started to learn online marketing strategies that helped me get my program on the map, fully booked, and thriving. Fast forward to today, I own a marketing agency that helps childcare business owners from all over the world with their marketing. Imagine running an amazing fully booked program, never having to stress over enrollment or low cash sales. Grab a piece of paper and a pen and let me show you how easy marketing can be. Welcome back to another episode, my friend. Today is going to be a really good episode because I want to share with you how to do some simple market research when you are trying to find the perfect spot for your brand new childcare program. So we're going to have lots of fun today. I also have a free resource for you that you can grab if you are at that point in your business venture where you are thinking of starting a business, but you're not quite sure if the location that you choose is going to be profitable, if your services are going to be in demand, and you're not quite sure how to go about and do market research. Okay, so I have a free resource that you can download. The link is in the show notes. Now, before we dive into the training, I want to mention that I started live marketing boot camps for 10 students or so last month. And I want to make sure you knew about them. So what these live boot camps are basically 90 minutes of pure valuable information. I teach for 90 minutes and then I do a live Q&A at the end. The course is given in live time and it is a boot camp because in 90 minutes I am going to jam pack the course with so much information that has to do with marketing and the foundations of marketing so that going forward you know exactly where to base yourself on, you know exactly what types of things to be focusing on, and you more importantly know the types of things that you should not be focusing on. So the boot camp is called Grow Your Childcare Business and it's 90 minutes long. It is a paid boot camp, so it's $47 to grab your ticket. The places are limited because, as I mentioned, I like to keep a small group of 10 business owners or so because I want to make sure that I can give you my full attention, especially when we do those live Q&As. If you want some more information or if you want to sign up for the next boot camp, just go to childcarebusinessmarketing.com/live bootcamp. And again, you can always check out the links in the show notes and get all the information there. So let's dive into today's topic. How do you do market research? One of my nightmares when I was starting my business venture was, investing time, energy, and just all my attention on a spot, doing all the work, the renovations, doing all the marketing, and then opening up my doors only to have crickets, only to have no one sign up to my program. And feel really, really defeated, right? And I'm sure that if you're listening to this right now, that's not a good feeling, right? You want to make sure that wherever you're focusing your attention on, that it's a place where once you invest money, time, energy, that once you open your doors, your services, your childcare program, whatever type of business that you want to open up, well, that it's actually something that is needed in your community, right? So how do you do that? How do you make sure that you're not going to invest in a space that is not going to bring you clients? Now, this what I'm going to walk you through right now is basic market research. Okay, so you can definitely use this if you are thinking of starting, let's say, a home daycare or even a bigger childcare center. The steps are the same. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you're thinking of doing some market research is the initial research. Okay, so this is the step one. What that means is basically you really have to hit the streets and start interviewing parents with young children, right? You have to make sure that you are showing up where your ideal client is hanging around, right? So in your case, if you want to open a childcare program, you want to make sure you know where local moms and dads are hanging around, right? So maybe it's a local church, community center, rec center, association, schools, family-friendly restaurants, local parks, meetups. I mean, you want to make sure you know exactly where your clients are hanging around locally, and you want to join these groups or these associations, and you want to start networking. You want to start asking questions, okay? And I know this might sound like a drag. You might not want to do this, but it's really, really important because you want to make sure that you are interviewing and actually communicating, connecting with the people that you are eventually going to serve in your business, right? And the best people to ask all these questions to are actually moms and dads in your community, obviously, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing interviews, again, asking questions about what types of services they'd like to see in your community, asking questions about childcare, preschool programs, curriculum, and what types of things that these clients, these moms and dads, feel is lacking in your community, okay? You can also do this in huge Facebook groups, but obviously that are local to you. Like every single community, every town has one of these mom and dad groups. So these are excellent places that you can really start your interview process, okay? The other thing you want to think about is surveys. So I actually included a link to surveymonkey.com. It is a free website that you can create an account with, or you can always use the Google Forms. Obviously, that's free as well. And you can come up with a very short survey, just asking some questions, okay? And this way, instead of actually visiting different places, you can actually send this survey out and ask the questions. Again, we're talking to local moms and dads that potentially would be interested in childcare, right? And we want to make sure that we're sharing our survey to these moms inside their groups, inside their Facebook communities, so that we can get some more information about the types of services and things that they need in terms of childcare, right? What's missing, where you can fill in the gap, if they're happy with their existing childcare program, why not, right? So really just getting in their heads, okay? The other thing you can do is you can pass out a questionnaire, okay? So this is also something that is very, very simple to come up with. Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, again, two great resources. But basically what this is you just creating a questionnaire and sending it out to your community, right? Once you know once you know where you'd like to potentially offer your services, just kind of like focus around that community and then send out some questionnaires. Maybe you can pass out some flyers. Maybe you can put them inside people's mailboxes, pin them up in local bulletin boards in your library, schools, or even the grocery store. It's basically just a great way for you to get your questions answered, okay? Focus groups are another way that you can definitely get some data. Again, at this phase, we're not really invested in an actual, we haven't committed to an actual location, but we're just gathering the information, gathering the data, connecting with local moms and dads, and organizing a focus group is also an excellent way you can do this. So for those of you that don't know what a focus group is basically you connecting with, let's say, a small group of people, let's say 5 to 10 parents that have kids that would be your ideal clients, right? That have kids that are under the age of 6, for example. And then just, maybe renting out a small community room or, meeting up at a park or something like that, and just asking the questions and just starting that conversation with this small group, okay? You can always post a classified ad as a trial ad, right? I actually did this when I was looking around for a place to rent for my childcare center. I had kind of focused my attention on one specific area in my town, but I didn't actually have the location yet. Like I didn't have the address, but I had an idea, right? I had a few blocks in mind. So what I did was I actually invested a couple of dollars in a classified ad, which was really, really small, right? It was a small, tiny classified ad, black and white. And I just basically said, new childcare center, bilingual childcare center opening up in this area. For more information or to get your child on the wait list, please call us in this number. Then I would direct all the information to my cell, because at that point I did not have a website. But you can definitely set up like a landing page. And then I would just answer the phone, and then they would tell me they're calling from, about the ad. And then I would just have conversations. I would actually ask them questions, right? So I actually kind of interviewed them before I placed them on the wait list. So that way I knew what they were looking for, if they were interested in what we have to offer. And then eventually I had, a name and a phone number that I can reach out to when we were ready with our open house invite, okay? Now, once you've done that and you've done, the initial search, then step 2 is your secondary research, okay? So we're not done researching yet. So once you've kind of honed it on a specific area, next you have to go through step 2, which is your secondary research phase, okay? So we're not done researching anything just yet. Now we're going to leverage data that we can find online, right? So you're going to hop on Google and you are going to research, look for childcare centers in the area where you'd like to offer services, right? You can do a great search on that, and then you're going to just take notice. You'll see how many pop up. Are they all preschool programs, or are they all home daycares? Are they all Montessori? What's missing, right? And you're going to take your notes down. So step 2 is leveraging this free tool that Google gives us access to, which is the keyword planner, to research what types of searches your ideal target audience living in the location you're researching is searching for locally every single month. And we can actually gather that data by leveraging this free keyword planner, okay? So if you don't have the link, don't worry. I actually included a link to this inside the downloadable that you get access to, so make sure you check out the show notes for that. But basically what this is we're going to get a better idea as to what local moms and dads living in the area that we're researching, what are they searching for when they're looking for childcare? Are they typing up terms like bilingual, Montessori, childcare center near a specific area, right? Overnight childcare, extended hour childcare, like what are they actively looking for? And that's going to give you a better idea as to what they are searching for, okay? The third thing we want to think about is demographics, right? Obviously, this is really, really important because we want to make sure that that we cover all our corners and that we're not trying to open or offer services in an area where, let's say, the average age is 80 years old, right? That's not going to help anybody. So I actually included a few websites. So whether you're in Canada or whether you are in the USA, inside the booklet that you get access to by clicking on the link in the show notes. And basically, I gave you access to a few websites that you can go through and do your research when you are searching for your ideal clients, you're searching for their ages, making sure that there's plenty of moms and dads with young children living in the area that you are researching, right? This is really, really important. Now, after you've done all that, step 3 is basically review and decide, okay? So this is where you actually put all this data down, the data that you've collected once you were actually hands-on interviewing and, passing out flyers and questionnaires and all that fun stuff, and then all the data that you've collected that was accessible to you online with Google and Keyword Planner and the demographics websites that you're going to leverage. Once you've collected all that data, now step 3 is really just thinking about, okay, I have all this information, this is what I know for sure, and then making up your mind, right? So some things you can consider. The average ages of a population in the interested location, the average family income, the number of childcare services already established in the area, the lack of services in a certain field that your business can offer, the number of large companies, factories, or industrial plants, right? These are all excellent things to think about when you're trying to figure out, is this a perfect spot for a daycare or a childcare center or not, right? And then you make your decision. You, if you check off all the boxes and you feel as though, yes, this is something worth pursuing, awesome, then you move on to the next step. If you feel like there's information missing, that you didn't really get all the data that you wanted, you can either go back to the drawing board and redo step 1 and 2, or you can decide to take step 1 and 2 and just kind of research a different area and see what the information and the data gives you there, right? So as you can see, Market research does not have to be complicated. It's a simple step-by-step process, but it does require time. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you found the information valuable. Make sure that if you are at that startup phase right now, or if you're thinking of expanding or moving your business and you're not quite sure if it's going to be a profitable area, that you download the booklet that you have access to in the show notes. Have an awesome rest of your day, you guys, and I'll see you in a few days. Bye for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if it did bless you or add some value, I would appreciate it if you go to wherever you're listening to this podcast from and leave me a review. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. 1 Peter 4:10. That is my intent with this podcast. I hope it blesses you and your business. See you in a few days.